Everyone's trying to add more to their health routine, but what if this book argues the exact opposite is what actually works? Welcome to This Explainer. Today we are going to completely flip how you view your body and your daily wellness routine. We're talking about a massive, fundamental mindset shift here. It's the kind of shift that will completely alter how you think about healing, energy, and resilience. We're moving away from constant micromanagement and toward finally trusting your own biology.
Look, right now, the entire wellness industry is built on a very specific and highly profitable premise. The idea is that you are essentially a broken-down container constantly in need of outside intervention. You're told you need to add more complex biohacks, more supplements. Just picture it. Waking up at 6 a.m. just to swallow 20 different pills, track 3 different wearables, and follow an exhausting 15-step optimization routine, just to feel somewhat normal. It's a lot, right? But we're going to explore why that exhausting, additive approach is fundamentally flawed and why doing the exact opposite is your ultimate leverage point.
Section 1. The Additive Logic Trap. Why stacking interventions fails to resolve the underlying problem.
We have all fallen into the trap of what this framework calls additive logic. Honestly, how many times have you felt tired or a bit foggy and immediately thought to yourself, okay, what new pill, powder, or protocol do I need to buy and add to my morning routine? We instinctively treat our bodies like passive machines that are constantly failing, running out of parts, and desperately needing external fixes. But the crucial point here is that frantically stacking supplements and extreme lifestyle interventions on top of each other rarely resolves the underlying issue. In fact, it often just creates more biological overwhelm. You end up with an endless regimen of rigid protocols that are just exhausting to maintain. And worse, they completely ignore your body's inherent intelligence.
Section 2. Health as the Default. Redefining your body's baseline state.
When I first came across this brilliant reframe, it felt like an absolute game-changer for biological efficiency. This concept comes directly from the book we're exploring today, The Metabolic Baseline by Sharif Ziada. To truly heal, we have to adopt a massive mindset shift. Health is actually your body's default state, and disease is simply a deviation from it. Your body is not a fragile vessel waiting to break. It's a highly resilient ecosystem that actively wants to return to balance. The systems inside you are constantly defending, prioritizing, and repairing without you even having to think about it. Think about this powerful metaphor for a second. Your body isn't just some passive pipe needing endless raw materials pumped into it. It's actually closer to a highly intelligent, self-regulating, integrated manufacturing facility. It doesn't just passively absorb what you give it. It actively manufactures what it needs from simple inputs, flawlessly running hundreds of complex biochemical operations simultaneously.
So, if the factory's baseline tendency is toward health and production, then the real leverage point is simply removing whatever is interfering with that production. It's not about cramming more and more raw materials into an assembly line that's already hopelessly jammed up. Doing that just causes a bigger bottleneck. It's about clearing those bottlenecks. The single most powerful thing you can do to restore health is to subtract the interference.
Section 3. 3 Domains of Subtraction, where doing less is significantly more.
Let's look at our first domain, which is digestive burden. Visualize your torso right now. We often think of it just as a place where digestion silently happens in the background, but mechanically speaking, it's a sealed physical container. When you're constantly eating or eating things that cause everyday bloating, it creates genuine, measurable intra-abdominal pressure. And this isn't just uncomfortable. It physically crowds your vital organs. It pushes up hard against your diaphragm, literally restricting your lungs from expanding fully, and puts an immense mechanical strain on your blood circulation. You can actually feel this physical heaviness.
By simply practicing the discipline of subtracting that constant digestive load, we do something amazing. We give the system a chance to clear out, and we naturally remove that mechanical interference. Think about the contrast here. You don't necessarily need to buy an expensive massage gun or learn some complex new breathing apparatus to feel lighter or breathe easier. The most profound relief comes from just stopping the constant influx of food, taking the mechanical architecture of your entire torso off of constant pressurized lockdown.
Our second domain is metabolic flexibility. Think about a factory worker forced to process incoming inventory 16 hours a day, never getting a single break. They never have time to sweep the floors, do baseline maintenance, or fix broken equipment, right? Well, that is exactly what we do to our liver when we never stop eating. We keep it trapped in a state of constant fuel intake, forced to endlessly store energy and manage blood sugar spikes. But your body was brilliantly designed for dual fuel adaptability. That's the ability to shift gracefully from processing external food to burning stored energy and performing vital internal cellular cleanup.
And the incredible sense of wonder here is that the liver already knows exactly how to do this. When we subtract the burden of continuous eating, the liver's innate priority system naturally recycles and manages energy on its own. It smoothly shifts into a recycling mode, generating its own fuel from internal stores. You absolutely do not need rigid, step-by-step fasting protocols or strict daily macro numbers to understand this conceptually. It's really just about giving your body the space to flip its own autonomous switch.
The third domain is autonomic load. This involves the overarching nervous system that governs the balance between the sympathetic state, which is mobilization and stress, and the parasympathetic state, which is maintenance, rest, and repair. To your nervous system, constant heavy digestion and constant emotional stress look exactly like a permanent state of emergency. You absolutely cannot be in full repair mode if your body believes it's constantly under attack or constantly mobilized to process heavy, uninterrupted inputs.
This brings us to allostatic load. Think of this as the cumulative biological cost of keeping your immune system on permanent alert. Constant dietary additions, chronic mechanical bloating, and endless stress, they all trigger overwhelming alarm signals in the body. True cellular repair simply cannot happen if the fire alarm is constantly blaring. And here's the realization. You cannot add a supplement to fix a fire alarm. You have to cut the wire. You have to clear those alarm signals by subtracting the inputs, keeping you in this mobilized sympathetic overdrive so the body can finally stand down and heal.
Section 4. The discipline of doing less, addressing the natural objection to subtraction.
Now at this point, it's completely natural to feel a bit skeptical. We are so conditioned by a wellness industry obsessed with extreme productivity and hacks, telling us we always have to be actively doing something to get healthy. You might be asking yourself right now, doesn't doing less sound a bit too easy? Doesn't it sound a little lazy or unscientific compared to a highly regimented, optimized 10-step protocol? In our modern world, simply stopping an action feels terribly counterintuitive.
But actually, it's the exact opposite. What the book calls the zero sabotage philosophy, actively choosing to step out of your body's way, requires profound willpower. It's remarkably easy to just chug a 15-ingredient green powder and feel like you did your job for the day. But it requires intense discipline and deep self-awareness to say no to constant inputs. It takes immense restraint to sit with mild, temporary hunger and actually trust your body's innate intelligence to clean house, rather than mindlessly reaching for a quick external fix. This subtractive approach isn't passive at all. It's deeply empowering. Section 5. Reclaim your metabolic baseline. The subtractive mindset shift.
This brings us to the ultimate payoff of this entire explainer. As we synthesize this incredible reframe from the Metabolic Baseline by Sharif Ziada, remember this core message. You are a sovereign body. You hold the keys to your own biological ecosystem, not the supplement companies. You don't need to micromanage every single cellular process with an external hack, because you are not a fragile container that needs to be constantly filled and fixed. This quote perfectly captures our journey today. True health is the removal of interference, allowing the body's innate intelligence to manufacture its own recovery. Your body's baseline is health. Your immune system, your liver, your nervous system, they all have brilliant built-in mechanisms for resolution and repair. Your most powerful tool isn't a new product. It's simply getting out of the way. So to transform this massive mindset shift into actual daily practice without getting bogged down in dogma, you need to go grab the full book, The Metabolic Baseline by Sharif Ziada. It's available on Amazon right now. I highly recommend diving straight into Chapter 6 for the specific practical daily strategies on exactly how to implement this zero sabotage lifestyle and reclaim your body's natural power.
And finally, a very important reminder that this is educational content only. You should always consult a qualified physician before changing your diet, lifestyle, or supplementation regimen, especially if you have any pre-existing conditions. But as we wrap up our conversation today, I want to leave you with this one provocative question to ponder. What will you bravely subtract from your life right now to finally give your body the space it needs to heal?